Like I said before, no one's paying attention to what's going on, and no one is watching my videos. But for those of you that tune in when you do tune in, once this gets out, I'm narrating with my phone and not the FaceTime app on the Mac computer in the green screen room, because those at the library have a problem with me. Those aliens that are here using the identities, you know, try to cause inconveniences for me. They figure if they cause inconveniences and my time goes to waste, you know, my time spent here, 3, 4, 5 hours, you know, that it'll keep me from coming back. In this video, I'm going to be discussing 3, it's called Humbug. And for those of you that don't know what Humbug is, it's a spirit of trickery, a deceitful spirit, an imposter, someone who is not who they say they are. In this video, I'll be showing you 3 different types of demons. One is, the first one will be of guilt and shame. And there's something else in there, you know, like they're blocking my vocabulary. Like I got a word for everything. I got a word for everything, and they're keeping me from putting this other title on it. But when you listen to it, you'll be able to point it out. The second one is sly and sneaky. You can tell its intent is to fool. And the third one is eager and humble. It's an eager and humble demon. These are agents that are posing as my aunt's daughter, oldest daughter, and her daughter, oldest daughter. Her oldest daughter is young though, like Nye is. It's still a young teen, between 13 and 15. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video first, and then I'm going to go over the discrepancy in it. It's day 3 of me being in the house. I have not been outside, which means that they have not been able to lie about coming across me. And just a short while ago, I was checking their asses again, and this is what they did to my lip. And it happens right away. I want to show you something. You guys see this foolery.
You have 8 new voice messages.
When I seen the number, I checked the voicemail.
First voice message. Message marked urgent. Sent Wednesday, November 20th.
Oh, it's not showing the first one now.
6:31 p.m. from 720715220.
This is my cousin in Colorado's imposter.
18 seconds. Hi, baby, it's Ray. Just want to call and tell you that I love you and I miss you. And to give me a call whenever you can. Love you, baby girl. Bye.
That's a government agent posing as my cousin. Do you see the foolery? The bitch been absent all this time, but now that I've gotten these complaints into the right hand, they
Message erased. Next message. Message marked duration 27 seconds. Hi, Kiki. This is your little cousin, Sanaya. I was calling because I need to talk to you. I miss you.
You see this shit? Do you see the type of shit they have these people?
I'm looking forward to you calling me back. Love you. Bye. Started app to play. Hi, Chiquita. This is your auntie. I love you, baby. And could you please call me at 720-322-6374.
See, they're blocking my calls. This came yesterday. My phone was on all day.
Duration 26 seconds.
No voicemail notification.
End of message. 3, 2,
It's just another one from yesterday, the 21st of November.
4. Duration 16 seconds. I can do that. This is the answer. There's the crowd. I need to talk to you. Thank you. Bye-bye. End of message. Message saved. Next message. Sent today, Friday, November 22nd at 11:58 a.m. from 216791230. Duration 36 seconds.
Hi, this message is for Miss Victoria Oliver. This is Joseph Piccolo at the VA hospital. I believe you have my email incorrect. It's joseph.pic, C as in Charlie, K as in Kilo, L as in Larry, O. So that's PICKLO at VA.gov. That's the correct one. I think you said PIT. So that's probably why I got kicked back. So that's my correct email address. If you respond via email, I will at least acknowledge initially that I received your email, and then we can go from there. Thank you.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. To send.
Okay, you know they swallowed my lip already. Something they've been saying was that they were going to telekinesis these people's memories, meaning put some of their memories back. They were talking about how they removed me from everyone's memory. So that's what you're seeing. Those that are posing as them now have some sort of recall of me. Because like I said, this entire time, this has been going on 2.5 years, and my entire family has been absent, and I'm the matriarch, I'm the glue. And so their imposters have now been formed of who I am. I told you when re-imaging takes place, they give the individuals a different idea of self. So, they don't, it governs how they handle their relationships, and the entire reason behind it was to get my family to ignore what was going on. So now, like I said, the complaints are in the right place. And they realize that I'm telling on everybody. So those are agents. Imagine that. I want you to see how they try to fool you. I want you to see how they've been fooling you. These people are in you. These aliens, these government agents are in your families too. And they're using flesh. They're using the human body as an outfit. They get in and get out. And when they're not in the body, it's on autopilot, like it's programmed to do what it needs to do. They all had recollection that I was being attacked by the government. And like I told you, my folks were joining numbers. Like, for me, my folks were joining numbers. But instead, these agents, they ignored and tried to bully me into accepting them as my relatives. There's so much more I want to say about the whole agent ordeal, and they're like kind of blocking and jamming my thought right now so that I can't reveal it. I think it's necessary to note that this is an entity, a part of my family or my relatives that, like, there was no problems. Like I told you, my relationships were in good standing. It wasn't until I noted, like, until I said that I was going to be moving against the government, that they all tuned out. They tuned completely out. And when I, I don't call on anyone, but when I, like, make a reference or, something like that, they were not willing to act. They were not willing. They were not eager. Like I told you, it would be like someone, because I am who I say I am, if someone were messing with one of my relatives, I'd be like, okay, well, what do we need to do? Like, this is where we start, whatever. And the problem solver, so it would be more like, this is where we start and this is what we're going to do. But the shit is not going. Layout is organization of engineers. Okay, they pull stunts with my camera. I was recording the entire time, but when I just looked, it had stopped already. No, actually, I think it'll probably be okay. Okay, so what happened was they pulled that stunt with my camera, and when I was recording, I hit record. As soon as I turned the camera around to record, they were hitting the stop function. So what I said that they didn't want the camera to capture was that they pulled quite a few stunts. Like, I just checked my voicemail 4 or 5 days ago, and there was only 2 voicemails. There was 2 from October. They have a way of creating something and taking it and dropping it in your box. So when I checked, I got 2 unknown calls, and I just wanted to make sure they weren't for anything. They're even swelling this side a little now. So they dropped them in my box. I remind you that these are government agents posing as my relatives. They're extremely intimidated by me. It was never their intent to get me the first time around. They make sure that the call is going to be sent directly to my voicemail, or either they drop it in the voicemail. In terms of my log, there's only like probably 3 missed calls from 720 numbers, and I had more voicemails than that. So they weren't allowing any of that stuff to register. And then suddenly today, when I checked, because I saw that the privacy officer called back, there it was. Also, that's my aunt that I told you they were threatening to kill her. That's the one that they were threatening to kill. And if I didn't have sex with someone. So their person of choice was the landlord. And even after that, like, knowing that I was going to decide to like cut it off because they didn't see a end, they still gave her a heart attack. Something else, I'm not sure whether or not the camera capture was when I was talking about, like, when you look at my complaint, it's obvious that I've been harmed, like, none of them cared that the government was hurting me. None of them gave a damn. None of them showed any concern. None of them tried to reach out, nothing. They all knew I was on foot. They all knew I was homeless. They all knew I had no money. Who in the fuck would be okay with their relative existing as that? Their rock. Because of old voicemails I had, they got rid of one of the balls. It wasn't just because of that. I was fucking, I told you my phone is my pistol. Like, being able to record or, you know, be a video or a voice note, you know, that's how I blow the fucking devil's head off. And, so yeah, I was shooting everybody, like, I was shooting everybody. They got my phone number from somewhere too, because ain't none of them got a way of reaching me. It may have been YouTube. It could have been YouTube, in which they haven't watched any videos nor read the about. But the about is where the number is. It's a Google number, and I happen to have it connected to this phone, so that's the only way. Yeah, that they were able to get a hold of me. They're on the kids too. You know, they put the kids up to doing things. They're on the kids too. They're posing as the kids. They will play you as children. Okay, with that, difficult to get rid of a demon. Me in my entirety with all of my DNA, it would be effortless. But that's why they're attacking me. They're attacking me. They're have removed those things that are associated with my natural ability, my body's natural defense. It's capable of repelling the demon. It gets it off of people. When I'm near, it doesn't mess with you. Once I'm in my official position, they won't be at all. I told you, this is thousands and thousands of men and women attacking me, one angel. That should give you an idea of how powerful I am. And I told you, it's not until they realize that I could beat their God that they try to side. You know, imagine what that conversation would be like. What do you think the demon's going to say? If I call the demon right now, what do you think it would say? Right now they're screaming. They're screaming and yelling. Agents, they're screaming and yelling about what I just said. Like I told you, when they get an assignment, like when they get a new body, they don't ask any questions. They jump right in and do whatever, you know, they were told to do per instruction. So you went to YouTube to find my number. You didn't go to Facebook first. That's normally how they reach out, via inbox. But you found the number on YouTube. That's already, you know, the first red flag, because that's just not normal behavior for them. You find the number, but you didn't watch any of the videos so that you could purposefully act like you didn't know what's going on. And you probably, I told you, they're lying to these people about the time frames. They probably don't even know how long it's been. They probably don't even know how long it's been. So what they're going to do now is, because you know they're watching and listening. They're watching and listening to how I react to everything. Imagine your playbook being wide open. I'm not responding. So what they're going to do is they're going to reprogram them and try. I told you, when they say go viral, that means that they're switching the imposters out. They're putting somebody new in the body. So I guess I'm going viral. Okay, that's the third call tonight. It's like 2 a.m. For the longest. The last two calls, they weren't allowing to come through. Like, it just showed that I had missed calls. That's the first time that a call has come through. So that's 2 more calls. I don't know if it's from the same 720 number or not. But anyhow, so look, now it reads the same 2 calls. They told her to call back to back, so that this will look the same, except for this time it shows, supports a suggestion. Anyhow, they were talking about how her demon, the agent posing as her, wasn't able to look into matters on Facebook and things like that. And imagine that though. Imagine what it's like to. Part of the reason that I'm not having that conversation is because you don't try to convince a demon of who you are. The demon knows who you are. This is day 5 in the house. And as you can see, I'm down. And this has been the case pretty much all much today. This is like a rerun of day 1. They're attacking my back, my neck, my head, and mine. And are trying to keep me from getting to anything so that the neighbors don't hear. And what I'm going to be doing is blocking this number, or blocking all the 720 numbers. It won't block or keep them from calling. It's a Google number that's connected to the phone, so it'll just keep it from coming to this phone. Okay, the first thing that I wanted to know is their tone. They all used dry tones, and they used the term, or the statement, "I love you," and they all sound like they're on the verge of crying. They will cry, they will cry, they will cry. These evil, deceitful spirits do not mind crying. They'll put on a complete show. You cannot be fooled by tears. When behavior and actions do not add up, you cannot be fooled by tears. So anyhow, the day prior, this particular video took place just about 4 days ago. It's the 26th of November today. So the day before it happened, the agents, they were discussing it. This aunt of mine that I'm discussing, she has 2 daughters. And they were talking about how the other daughter could not risk losing what they had stolen from me and applied to her, as far as, brain cells, the way the brain functions, and comprehension, being able to comprehend. They also said that in the past, they chose this particular daughter. They chose this particular daughter because we have more of a past. The other demon was hiding. Like, it went into hiding for a really long time, and then it just showed up with this new identity, this new idea of self, this new image. I'm not going to be talking about a lot of that though right now. But yeah, they were saying that they couldn't make her a part of it. Because they didn't want to compromise what they're doing as her. The first voicemail from the daughter, my cousin, she says, she notes baby girl. No one refers to me as a girl, and all my relatives know that I don't play it, because nothing about me is girl-like. I am a full-blown woman in every way. So, but her imposter does not know that. So that's how she's referring to me. So she doesn't know that it's not a term that she normally uses. She actually takes on more of a clinging, like as if I'm her mother type approach with me. Her imposter was clearly under the wrong impression. Her daughter stated her whole name because she was under the wrong impression. Whenever she leaves a voicemail, she always refers to herself as Nye, because she knows that I know who she is. And clearly her imposter doesn't, and stated her full name. My aunt, her imposter was eager to make amends. That particular demon has been in my family for a really long time. Telltale signs that I've never lost sight of, that I were introduced to as a child, is drug use. So anyone who's ever had an addiction, is possessed. yeah, but I cared for it, and you know, I would stand up for it and stuff like that. And her daughter has always, you know, their relationship has never been really good. It didn't get good until they decided that, you know, it was necessary to join forces. And when that happens, you know, there's some preparatory commands, you know, like a year or so out before this takes place, you know, before the attack on me takes place, they'll change some things with their behavior. But if it were my cousin, she'd be siding with me and saying that everything that I say is true. Because like I said, she's seen a lot of things in it, when it comes to behavior. I'm unveiling off principle. She's dealt with much mistreatment. Yeah, she's dealt with much mistreatment from her and her sister. And they've changed her so that she wouldn't acknowledge and even denounce, you know, their past. You know, they didn't want anyone making mention of, you know, what the relationships were like. They always say, I'm the only one who knows who these people are. If you met them today, you wouldn't know. If you met them today, you wouldn't know. And people are really quick to denounce their past. At the end of the video, I said some things that they didn't want regarding her heart attack. And you can see it lasts for about a minute or so. But they pulled the stunt with my camera that they normally pull. You know, like they'll change the function. So I'll hit record and I'll start talking and then they'll stop. Or I'll stop and they'll hit record. These are the type of things that should not be able to happen. It's unauthorized remote access. Unauthorized. The things that I've seen my phones or devices do is countless. Like, for those of you that would, you know, if faced with this, you know, and you can't get over the fact that they cry, you need to understand that when a memory, they've been telling me too for like, this has been about a week out, that they were saying that they were going to be telekinesis in these memories, meaning that they were going to be putting people's memories back. When you put a memory and you intensify the feeling associated with it, you're able to pull off a believable lie. These demons, they die as people all the time. So to put on an act in front of you is nothing. They die and wake up in the lab. They die and wake up in the lab. Yeah, but it makes them capable of playing the part. It makes them capable of playing the part. Because these are agents, they don't do anything outside of their instruction. So that means they, if they're told to avoid something, they avoid it. If they're told to look at something specifically, that's what they do. So they didn't look into anything as far as my content goes. Under normal circumstances, they reach out via Facebook, but the demons are not able to celebrate nor acknowledge these facts. You know, they're not able to celebrate or acknowledge my unveiling, my revelations. They're not allowed to celebrate or acknowledge that I'm Christ's mother. They know who I am. So yeah, they avoided Facebook on purpose because it's like so, you know, undeniable and just right in your face on Facebook that they went to YouTube instead, and they found the number there and contacted me. Sensory perception. Agents manipulate emotions to get their desired outcome. I kind of already spoke about that. These are entities. During those videos, one of the female agents said, during that whole ordeal, you know, when I was having this conversation, one Well, that's kind of more of an artificial intelligence thing, you know, like they pose as others as they're remotely attacking too. I want you to imagine a technology that's so sophisticated that its commands are voice driven, and not even voice driven. Its commands are thought, so you can think a command and the computer will execute it. Those are the type of things that are taking place with supercomputers. So, you know, the speed of thought and all of that, you know, a lot of people don't want to, when you consider created races, you know why they like kind of be like, but Africans, like, come on, Africans. Like, a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that they're having conversation with people that are programmed, human robots. You have to consider with remote neural monitoring, you can see a thought as it's formed. So if you have someone over here, not only is the computer recognizing the thought as you form it, but it's already got a couple of replies in mind. So you're having conversations with things that look like human that are not human. A lot of them are on, autopilot until the demon, the alien, decides to jump in and use the body. I took a short break and I got a little bit sidetracked, but I just want to finish with this. They cannot acknowledge it. The demon cannot acknowledge who I am because it compromises its identity. And once the demon tries to interact with me in person, it shows up remotely and harasses me about that. You know, it harasses me about my response. It harasses me about, their actions, But it puts up a complete blind eye. Blind eye. Because I'm talking about demon possession. I'm talking about DNA theft and eugenics. I'm talking about advanced technologies that separate people from the spirit. Technology that hijacks the womb. They can't acknowledge any of that. Okay, this is the very last thing. It was done to torment me. It was done to torment me. It was done to evoke an emotional response because the identities that they're using are my loved ones. It was done to torment me and put me in a dark, just to drop or attack my vibrations. It was meant to torment me. I want you to consider also the things that take place after that in their households, the things that are being captured. Just like they're capturing my response, they're capturing their responses too. They and like I said, it's a demon spirit. So trying to get a hold of me is one thing, but soliciting false responses amongst one another isn't. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, soliciting false responses regarding their actions. They're not acknowledging that they've been absent for 2.5 years and knew what was going on. They're probably acting like, we just keep trying to get a hold of her, and that's what they're capturing and manipulating. And one of the female agents said she be giving these people memories that don't nobody want them to have. Memories do not make a person. Memories make a believable robot. Memories make a believable robot. A soul is what makes a person. A soul is what makes you human. And Africans are the only ones capable of being human.
Hey, Kelly.
Hello.
Where's Steve?
He's out here somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, he's outside?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll catch him later. She just lied and said that he was outside. So, she's not aware of the stunts that he pulls when she's not home. So let me tell you, I told you the neighbors, they be like slamming stuff all the time. It's mostly the guy. It's mostly the guy. And occasionally, the female gets in on it, but it's only when they're in an argument. Just a short while ago, I'm sitting in my bedroom and I'm journaling. I'm sitting in there and I'm journaling and I'm pissed. Like, I'm pissed while I'm journaling about the topics that I'm journaling about. So suddenly, he gets like louder out of nowhere downstairs, and I stomped. I guess in this case you could say I picked the fight. But I stomped. And he had the nerve to hit the wall, but how would he know to take offense? Those are the things that you have to consider. I could have dropped something. I could have, it could have been any fucking thing. But he knew to take offense. And he hit the wall. And when he hit the wall, I stumped again. And when I stumped again, they cramped my leg on purpose. The motherfucking demons are mad. So, he yelled something. And I couldn't make it out. But it did align with what they were saying. Cunt. Like the bit that I caught of it, it aligned with cunt. So I'm like, okay. At first I wasn't going to entertain it, but I waited a few more minutes and I'm like, no, I'm going down there because I want to see what type of names you trying to call, because I'll snap your motherfucking neck. And you got to know today that that's the shit you won't be doing. Bitch, you already up at 4 a.m. slamming doors and shit. I don't never say nothing to y'all when y'all be acting a motherfucking fool, and that's all the time. So, I go downstairs, and that's the part you seen. And I asked her, read what? She claimed me outside. He ain't nowhere outside. Doors ain't shut or nothing. He ain't nowhere outside. I looked at everywhere around the entire house. He's not outside. And like I said, I would have heard it. And she had that real condescending look on her face, like, it's not like you to show up and I'm about to tell you this lie. But that's the type of stuff that they do for these nothing ass men. They'll hide them. What you hiding that nothing ass man for? They think he gonna be like losing his motherfucking temper and not watching his mouth. He might do that with you, but he's not gonna be doing that with me. Something that's necessary to note is foolery is an art. So like, it's a shame that I'm not capturing. Like when people see a camera, they tend to change everything about the way that they're doing it. So I always try to catch them off guard, like the words, what's coming out of their mouths are most important, but I really wish you could capture the looks that they give. It's an art, these demons. It's an art to speak in a way that's opposite of what your face says. And see, they're still knocking shit around. And else is they're talking about how I fool the devil. They're talking about my tongue when I spoke with her, and how it was about to be a full-blown argument that she wasn't able to detect. Like under normal circumstances, she would not have been able to detect it. However, the way that she showed up at the door, she already knew what was going down, and she was just sent there to intervene. Like that thing that showed up at the door, whatever it was, knew what was about to happen and intervened. So, Yeah, they saw it all play out in my mind. They ran the scenario too, and I saw what they saw, and they pretty much aligned. Because I was just there to let him know, don't get fucked up. Do not get fucked up. I'm waiting to see what it feels like to snap a motherfucking neck. And get this, one of the female agents just said, I need you to suck his dick one more time. You see the type of stuff people say when they behind, like, this is remote harassment. Shit she'd never be able to say in person. Shit she can't even fake up and, you know what I'm saying, do as someone else. Like, if y'all jumping into all these bodies and using all these identities, bitch, why ain't you showed up with your problem? Because you know I snap your motherfucking neck.